Okay, we'll discuss about the second filter, that is nothing but your Chebyshev filter. Okay, so now Chebyshev filter, as compared to your Butterworth filter, they have a very steeper roll off. Okay, that is that you can see here, they have a very steeper roll off. Okay, and also this Chebyshev filter will have a narrow transition band as compared to the Butterworth filter. Butterworth filter, they have a very smooth pass band, but the transition band will be very wide, but in Chebyshev filter that is not there. Okay, so this Chebyshev filter is basically of two types, so type 1 and type 2 we call it. Okay, the difference is type 1 will have all poles and type 2 will have poles as well as zeros. Okay, in this type 1, what happens is the poles that you have, they will have a equiripple behavior in the pass band and monotonic characteristics it will show in the stop band. Okay, so what is this equiripple means the ripples of the same height. Okay, so type 1 Chebyshev filter will have the ripples of the same height and in the pass band, and they will have a monotonic would mean that it is either entirely decreasing or entirely increasing, or entirely non increasing, entirely non decreasing. There will not be any fluctuations, as is no peaks formed. Okay, this is type 1. So type 1 equiripple of behavior of the poles in the pass band and monotonic in the stop band. When it comes to the type 2, it is exactly opposite. That is, they will have a monotonic behavior in the pass band, and they will have a equiripple behavior in the stop band. Okay, that is the major difference between both. Okay, all right. So we would do the derivation for finding the order of the filter, that is nothing but capital N. For finding poles and all, I will give you the direct formula. If the derivation is required, later we'll see. Okay, all right. So how is the magnitude response given? Magnitude response is given as h of j omega whole to the power square by equals to 1 by 1 plus epsilon square cn square omega by omega p. You know what is this omega p and epsilon, right? Okay, so this epsilon is nothing but it is a parameter of the filter which is related to the ripple. Okay, ripple, mainly your ripple in the pass band. Okay, and this Cn whatever you have, this is the nth order Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, this is the nth order, this is the polynomial. Okay, like as we had the polynomial, so this is the nth order. Okay, whatever the value of n. Okay, so nth order Chebyshev polynomial and given by this. Okay, so this epsilon n will be given as cos and cos inverse x for a particular range in your pass span, and the cnx will be cos h. See, cos h is nothing but it is a hyperbolic function. Okay, and these hyperbolic functions are analog of the ordinary trigonometric functions like your cos, sine and all. These are the analogs of those functions. Okay, now here we are making use of this is because the poles of the Chebyshev filter lies on the ellipse, not on the circle, whereas the poles of the Butterworth filter lies on a circle. Okay, so Chebyshev filter, the poles lies on an ellipse, whereas they lie on a circle. Okay, in Butterworth filter. All right, now this Chebyshev polynomial, okay, that is Cnx, they can be defined by the recursive formula. Okay, Cnx is equal to 2x Cn minus 1. Now with respect to the value of n being odd and even, they have certain what do you say, formula, I won't say formula, certain values. If Cn of x, for if it is n value is odd, then it will be equivalent to this. Okay, similarly if Cn of 0, for n, if n is odd, then it is 0. For all value of n, Cn1 is 1, and so on. Okay, so these are certain observations that they have made regarding the Chebyshev filter with respect to the Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, so you need to go through it. Okay, now this is a response. Okay, this is a response for your Chebyshev filter for n equal to odd as well as n equals to even. So I have considered, I have not written here, I am miswriting it here. So here n value is 4, here n value is 5. You can see here 5 points. Similarly you can have 4 points. Now here you have maxima and minima. So this you know. Okay, this is nothing but your, again, your attenuation, which can also be written as this. We had calculated this in our Butterworth filter. Okay, so in case of the value of n being odd, uh, uh, your oscillatory curve, it starts from value 1, and in case of value being even, your oscillatory curve, it starts its value from 1 by root of 1 plus epsilon square. Okay, alright, now we are going to derive the value for n. How are we doing? Taking the squared magnitude frequency response formula. Okay, and taking log on both the sides, so you obtain 20 log h of j omega, 10 log 1 minus 10 log of this. Now assuming omega equal to omega p and the attenuation in the passband as ap, so this becomes omega, instead of omega you will be substituting omega p. So omega p, this will be cancelled, so you will get 1 plus epsilon square cn square 1, and cn square or cnx for any value of n. Okay, we are not considering whether n is odd or even here, is 1. See, cn of 1 is equal to 1, so cn square 1 will be definitely 1 again. Okay, so this particular entire term becomes 1, so we end up getting this is equivalent to attenuation at omega p is equal to ap will be given as minus 10 log 1 plus epsilon square. Clear? Okay, taking 10 here and taking the log to the left hand side, we end up getting epsilon as 10 to the power minus 0.1 ap minus 1 root over. Okay, alright. Similarly, at omega equals to omega s, what are we doing now? Instead of omega, we are substituting omega s, so this term is not divisible, so we take a expansion for this, considering the what do you say, equation as cnx. Okay, so what is cn of x given? Okay, see, we don't have for any value of n, cnx is given as nothing, so we would consider this, and since we are at the stop band, okay, so we will take this cnx equal to cos h and cos h inverse x. Okay, so see here we are writing that instead of, see here, 1 plus epsilon square, instead of cnx this we have expanded it. Our x is omega s by omega p. So next what we have done, again 10 log 1. Okay, this I think you can very easily solve it. Instead of epsilon, we have substituted epsilon, we have calculated here, we have written the value. Since it is square, it is epsilon is left with only 10 to the power minus 0.1 ap minus 1. Clear? Okay, so substitute this, again 10 is taken, log is taken here, you would end up getting, you can see, you can solve it. If you have doubts you can ask me. So you will finally end up getting n greater than equal to, see, this equal to sign here is changed to less than equal to, so if you bring it at the right hand side, this will be greater than equal to. Okay, so n greater than equal to cos h inverse, this is the formula for n. Okay, now this cos h inverse or cos h, whatever you require, can be directly calculated using your calci, or else it can be calculated using this particular formula. So this, whatever you will have inside this cos h inverse, becomes your x value. Okay, so you can calculate it either this or directly calculate using the calculator. Okay, so what are the steps now finally to design an analog Chebyshev low pass filter? We are designing low pass filter wherein you will have the signal passing at the initial frequencies. Okay, alright, so whatever specification will be given, you have to find the order of n with this particular formula. If it is in fraction, you have to round it off to the next integer. Okay, then we are trying to find the value of two things first, a and b, which are nothing but the minor and major axis of the ellipse. Okay, so A is given as this, B is given as this. Now in this, mu is something that we don't know, so we have to find. Mu is again having an epsilon term, and in epsilon we already know what it is. Okay, so you can find A and B. Now where are we using this A and B that we have calculated? We would use this A and B calculated to find the poles. Okay, and the poles is given as sk equal to a cos phi k plus j sin phi k. Now here one thing you have to take care is, in Butterworth filter we had started k from the value 0 to n minus 1, whereas k here will be from 1 to n. Okay, okay. Now phi k, this phi k will be pi by 2 plus 2k minus 1 pi by 2, and there it was 2k plus 1, here it is 2k minus 1. Okay, take care of it. Now with whatever poles you have, you will obtain your denominator of the polynomial. Okay, polynomial of the transfer function. So your h of s will be 1 by s minus, depending upon how many poles that you have got, we will just write it. Okay, then what will happen? The numerator. So denominator you have already found out. How are you finding the numerator? The numerator of the transfer function would depend upon the value of n. Okay, that is a capital N value. If the capital value of n is even, in that case whatever denominator you have obtained, you, instead of s, the s term that is there in the denominator, you will substitute 0 and divide that value by root over 1 plus epsilon square. Okay, then if the value of n is odd, in that case you will substitute the value of s equal to 0 in the denominator of the polynomial, and then you are dividing it by 1. Why 1 and why root over 1 plus epsilon square here is because the oscillatory, I had shown in the graph, in the oscillatory curve, the value, the curve starts basically from 1 by root over 1 plus epsilon square in case of value of n as even, and in case of n equal to odd, it was starting from 1. So if we divide anything by value 1, it remains the same thing. Okay, so this is the derivation, so you can just go through it. Okay, now if you see a problem, AP, AS and FP and FS is given. Okay, so FP is nothing but the frequency given. You have to convert that into omega P and omega S by multiplying that by 2 pi, so that you get the value in radian per second. Okay, so AP is 3 dB, AS is 16 dB. Substitute AP and AS in the omega P and omega S for obtaining your order n. Okay, so AP and AS will be minus, so this term will become plus here, minus 0.1 into minus whatever AS value. I told you attenuation, it's absorption, so it will be value will be in negative. Okay, so you obtain your n value, cos h inverse, whatever you are getting, depending upon the value you can find. You can use your calci to obtain this. Okay, you will get 1.91. So you are what do you say, rounding it off to the next integer, that is nothing but 2. Okay, now we have to find the value of a and b. For that you need to know the value of mu. For that you need to know the value of epsilon. So epsilon you can easily find out using this. Then you can find the value of mu. A and b you need to substitute in the formula and obtain the value of a and b as such. Then the poles are find out by sk equal to a cos phi k plus j sin phi k. So phi k is nothing but pi by 2 plus 2k minus 1 by 2n pi. So substitute first k value as 1, n value as 2. Then for phi 2 substitute k value as 2, n value remains 2 itself. Okay, for both. Then find out s1 and s2 by substituting the value of a and phi 1, a and phi 2, b and phi 1, b and phi 2. Obtain your s1 and s2. Now the denominator will be s minus s1 and s minus s2. So you have your s1, you have your s2. Substitute. I have just optimized it. Okay, so you can substitute and you will get this. Now since our n is even, what are we doing? This is the denominator. In order to find the numerator, what are we doing? Whatever we have obtained here, okay, denominator, wherever you have the s term, you are making it 0 and dividing this value by root over 1 plus epsilon square. So when you do this fraction, you will get 1414.38 whole square pi square. This becomes your numerator. Okay, so numerator is this, denominator is this, so your transfer function h of s will be equal to numerator by denominator, that is numerator you obtained from this, denominator you have obtained from this. Okay, this is same as this, this is the expanded one.